The Regional Court has, however, ruled in favor of the NPA to have the matter rather be postponed than being struck off the roll, as the defense, of course, they submitted last week. But with me right now, just to give us more on this matter, whether they are happy now that the matter will rather continue than being struck off the roll, I'm joined by the Free State NPA, Ndade Paladi Shuping. Ndade, of course, it wasn't. It was indeed a tough time inside the court, but today the magistrate Colin Nengosi has ruled in your favor to have the case be postponed to November.
Look, it's something that is satisfying to us. At least we now have an opportunity of finalizing all the outstanding issues regarding the investigations. And we are aware of the time constraint, considering that we've been given 3 months. But like we said in the application, that we're asking for 3 to 5 months. So we are optimistic that within the said period we would have finalized all the outstanding issues pertaining to investigations. As we are aware that the court has given us an order that by the 30th we should have provided the defense with the docket and the indictment, which put us under pressure, but we are optimistic that by that time we would have submitted the docket to the defense. All the accused would have been provided with the docket and the indictment.
Magistrate Nengosi kept on citing the High Court ruling in March and May that have struck off the roll, of course, saying that the NPA didn't have sufficient evidence to bring forward. What can you say about that? Aren't you worried now that this is almost being cited the same as the High Court?
Look, we're not worried of the statement that was made by the magistrate court, even those statements that were made by the presiding officers in those applications, because like we are saying, the statements were based on the little evidence that we provided in those applications. And we can say that we provided just a fraction of the information that we have in our case docket. We still maintain that there is no person who can say we don't have a case if that person does not have full access to our docket. So we are very optimistic that all the outstanding investigations will be concluded, and then we'll be in a position to start with the trial very soon.
Don't you think that you took a risk by providing, rather, like you're saying, a little of the evidence that you're saying you are having, since we know that the opposition wanted the case to be struck off the roll?
Look, when you are applying for a restraint or a preservation order, the only thing that you have to prove is a reasonable suspicion. So when you have to prove a reasonable suspicion, that does not necessarily mean that you have to prove all the evidence that we have. That is why it was only allowed that we provide a little information. But I must say that even after those judgments, we continued with the investigations together with the investigating officers. That's why we can say that we got over 300 financial statements that we are that we are working with the auditors to assist in analyzing. And there's also been 4 search and seizures that were conducted at the premises of the accused.
Another interesting thing that magistrate did say was that you having to go through the financial statements, 3 to 5 months, is it like you making an excuse that you will be done with that, or you won't have, knowing that you also waiting for the response from internationally?
Look, we have already started the process of getting assistance from foreign countries. Like I said before, we're working with the Department of Justice and Department of International Relations. What is important to us is to ensure that whatever information that we get it by legal means, so that the information can be admissible in court. We don't want to bypass any process, and then when you have to present the evidence before the court informs us that the evidence that we are presenting is inadmissible. With regard to the financial statements, we are not experts when it comes to financial matters. That's why we involved the services of the audit firm, which is assisting us with the analysis of those statements. So we are hopeful that by the 30th of November, they would have analyzed all the statements that have been provided.
And that is Shuping, for the second time now, the bail conditions of the accused have been relaxed. Aren't you bothered about that?
No, we are not bothered. Look, what the defense brought to the attention of the court was that the first appeared on the 14th of February, and it's been 6 months since their first appearance, and they were complaining that it's prejudicing the accused because now they are restricted in terms of the movement. That is why as state we said, okay, it's fine, instead of them reporting twice a week to the nearest police station, they can report at least once a month. With regard to traveling overseas, remember initially the application, the condition was that they have to come and make an application in court if they want to travel abroad, but we have relaxed that in saying that every time they want to travel abroad, they just have to inform the investigating officers of their date of departure and then when they are going to return to South Africa.
All right, that was Ndata Shuping just taking us through to what the NPA has in their position, saying that of course they are confident that come the 30th of November they will be ready to give, to show their readiness and provide with the indictment, as we know that the case has been postponed to 4 December. Also, Ndata Shuping was just telling us that they are not bothered with the citing of the High Court ruling that ruled, of course, in favor of the assets belonging to the Gupta family to rather be unfrozen. Now we can say it's all a waiting game until the 30th so that we can know whether they are ready for the case that will be starting on the 4th of December.
That was our reporter Aphumelele Mdlalane reporting there from the Free State.